The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good.
Hi, Tom.
How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning. I'm Nico Haan. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to our more balanced, natural, wild world.
That's right, to recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms. And I'm Paige Clarke. Good morning.
And it's a beautiful day in downtown Clearwater, Florida. It's 76 degrees and mostly sunny today. Going to go up to about 92, something like that.
That's right. So make sure you subscribe to our Health Signals newsletter. It's news you can use.
Yeah, I got a new one coming out Tuesday, and I have a lot of stuff about my vacation in there, which we're going to talk about today. The number here is 877-927-6648. If you have any questions or if you'd like to make suggestions for the show, you can always reach us, right, Paige?
That's right, at Paige@TFNN.com.
And Nico at TFNN.com.
Hey, Nico, we get to live vicariously through you.
Ah!
And you're exciting today. I really do. I was trying to keep up with you on Facebook, and you made some great videos out there with Marc of Bigfoot, Colorado.
Yeah.
And so today, can we take some time and...
Yeah, we're going to definitely discuss the whole thing because it was an awesome vacation. It was a vacation with my son, which is just a very special thing.
A bonding opportunity.
Yeah, and we got to meet Marc Abell of Colorado Bigfoot, and met Matt from TFNN, one of the listeners.
Oh, Matt, that's right.
Yeah,
Matt did make it. That's right. I'm sorry I saw that.
So let me just show you some pictures to begin with. This is where we stayed. This was looking out from the hotel there at Best Western in Dillon, which is about maybe 40 minutes from Vail, where Marc is. So the morning was really interesting because the morning of, let's see if I can just get these to go here. Yeah. Morning of, it snowed. It had like 3 inches on the ground. This is the picture from my balcony.
Wow.
Yeah, so I says, oh my God. He says, we thought, snow everywhere. But just in the Arapahoe Valley is where the snow was. So as we drove, and we had said we were going to meet on Monday, I think it was. It ended up to being Tuesday that we went down to see Marc. This is what we woke up to. This is my vehicle here.
Was it really cold?
It was cold. It was 30 degrees, something like that. And as we went to Vail, about a 40-minute drive, we see the snow in the mountains. But when we got there was no snow there. It was a lot of different elevation. So this was actually the trailhead where we started. This is my son David getting out of Marc's truck. Very interesting. We started in this path, just a normal path you would see going through the woods, where a lot of people were walking and things. Just not that morning, but on our way back, we saw a few people.
So you start on like a commercial trail,
it's just a normal trail. You're going up
park.
the mountain, and we started probably about maybe 7,000 feet, 6,000 feet, and went up from there. This was the entrance to what he calls the Bigfoot world. I got 2 pictures here. It was really interesting. Looks beautiful. He says, we were walking through this aspen forest, which is completely different than a pine forest. And then all of a sudden we come to a pine forest, and here's a game trail going right through it with these 2 beautiful trees side by side.
Almost like an entryway.
Yeah, it was an entryway, just like to a Magic Kingdom type of thing. So that was pretty cool.
So let's clarify that so people understand. Most of the tree coverage at that point was aspen trees.
Aspen trees. And if you look at the side of the mountain, the light-colored trees are all the aspen trees, and the dark-colored trees are all the pine tree. They don't really mix. There's a little mixing going on.
Okay.
But you generally not. This is the first X we saw just before that picture.
So for a lot of you that may have just been jumping on or haven't been aware, the Colorado Bigfoot has been tracking and documenting these tree structures that kind of defy the laws of physics in that they're the tree trunks are different trees and different forests, right?
Yeah. Well, some of them are, some of them aren't. Some of them are attached. This particular one is a little pine tree that was stripped and then bent over, and then an X was made in the center of it. And we see a lot of X's. That's kind of their thing. I mean, small X's, little X's like the baby maybe made it, and the big X's where Papa maybe made it, and the medium X's maybe Mama. I don't know. But it's very interesting when you go into a territory and there's nothing. A couple of trees fall down and things like that, but when they start being stacked.
So this is not, there's not anybody living anywhere near these
This
woods?
is way up in the mountain. Now we're about 8,000 feet and we're climbing, and this was really steep. I mean, if you're looking at the terrain, this is a real steep angle we're going up, and this is where those tree structures are. This is another X. As you see, some of them are horizontal, some of them are just
That's a really cool picture right there.
Yeah, kind of hidden in there. These are tree bands.
Do you think they're trying to say, stay out of here?
Maybe, I don't know.
This is X marks the spot. This is our spot.
Yeah, it's possible. What's fascinating, of course, all these different leans, and you can see the bends, and they're all usually put between two trees, so there's no way this tree fell and then bent itself around these trees.
Right.
A little more close-up of this bend. I mean, it takes a lot of force, and this tree is, 8 inches diameter? 1.5 foot around, something like that. And then they pile all this stuff. Now, the stuff on the ground are the aspen trees, and we're in the pine forest. So all this wood here was carried up there.
That's the significance. I want people to hear this.
Yeah.
What makes this extremely intriguing to so many scientists and researchers is these are trees that aren't, it's not like they just fell.
Right.
It's a different tree
Right.
up in a forest that had to been carried there.
Yeah.
And then, oh my gosh.
The big bend way up in the air. This is about maybe 30 feet in the air. The big X's, a lot of X's, between two trees again. When you look at these, you find there's no way these things can fall naturally this way. Look at these trees have been bent. It's like they're hanging on these trees. And then just forcing them to do this. Another X, just wood, horizontal.
Many of these trees that they stick them in between, it's like a leverage point where
where they can bend them,
where they can bend them, or where they can make sure, hey, I'm making this X and I want it to last.
I think so. Yeah. Well, you can see the steepness in this area right here, a little plateau here. So we're really going up a steep mountain, and with the difference in the elevation for me. There was less oxygen up there, so it was very, very difficult. But you just keep going nice and slow.
And you felt it.
You definitely could feel it. But I was keeping up with the whole thing.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed.
Look at these.
So was Marc. He was bragging on you.
Yeah. Another bend. I mean, just.
He's going to start listening to our show because he figured I'm having what he's having.
Now, this was what they call the sundial, but when I got up there, I looked at this thing and I said, this looks more like a compass. So I took my compass out, and sure enough, this rock right here was pointing north. This was the west. So the large ones that were standing up were north and west, and the ones that were laying down were south and east. And with one in the center with a little star around it, then they had these rocks that were displayed to the pointer rock. So I thought this was a marker, probably some surveyor or somebody years ago. Some people maybe think it's a Bigfoot that did it. I didn't, but you never do know.
Yeah,
so
could have been some other people that were checking this stuff out.
That's true, yeah, and this was at about 10,000, 11,000 feet in the air. We'll be right back, folks. We'll continue with Nico's vacation.
That's right.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
So welcome back. So let's continue with this, and I've enlarged the picture a little bit. So you can see this is definitely a compass, and it was right on the mark, both with my iPhone compass, and David had a real compass, and both right on the marks with this. So we think that definitely was. On our way up to this, we were thinking of maybe going higher, but a lot of snow up in the wilderness. This is the Holy Cross Wilderness, which is just south of I-70, just west of Vail. Mm-hmm. And so we decided to just go to a little different place, just continue on the mountain. And I found this structure here on the other side. And Marc had never been there, and we kind of called this is kind of like a whole different thing. I mean, there's a lot of things sticking through there. No way any of this fell. The heavier stuff is on top, the lighter stuff is on the bottom. It was all jammed in there, and it does look like artwork. It's pretty amazing. At this point, we did hear a couple of yelps from the top of the mountain. So as we were looking at the top of the mountain, maybe 50 yards, we heard a couple of yelps. I heard it, and Dave heard it. A couple of more things. This is kind of insane structures, and this is what drew me to this area, just seeing this. You can see a lot of stuff in the air, too.
So again, most of these trees that we're seeing are not native to that particular forest. They've been brought up from a lower elevation.
Yeah, a lot of them were.
I mean, do people have any idea how heavy these trees are?
Yeah, I mean, it's insane, that's for sure.
And there's no, you know, there had to be some type of...
What's really astonishing, they're always bent through. You can see right here with this tree, that's where the bend starts. So they took it and they wrapped it through a couple of other trees here. Big bends and X's. They love X's for some reason.
You know, maybe it's really their way of marking where they're traveling.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe
when I first started on this whole adventure, I thought, well, what is the other thing that it could be? I thought maybe some kind of weather, some electrical event, things swirling around and getting mixed up. But none of the other trees are touched. And when you look at some of these trees, they're shoved between trees. The marks of the shoving are just 2 or 3 feet. It's not like the tree fell, broke a bunch of branches, and landed between the two trees. They were literally just shoved between the trees. And then the bending of these things. Yeah, sometimes things can bend because of snow load and things like that.
Right, but usually if you see one tree bent and none of the other trees are bent, one or two.
Yeah, it's just weird. And here's another X. I mean, these are amazing things, and the bends. It just goes on and on. And again, the elevation, this is a kind of normal slope, but when you get down to the other area there, it's just really, really
Did you
hard.
have a pedometer? Did you calculate how many steps you took each day?
No, and this was right at the edge of where the snow started again.
Right.
Big X again.
That's a real big X. That gets your attention.
It does, yeah. And then usually right at the top here, these things are kind of twirled around some other little branches to keep them there. Or sometimes they're just kind of leaning in a little crook. Sometimes they're not even leaning in a little crook. If you could show the camera with my hands here. Yeah, it's just kind of leaning against there. And when you do it, you can move it and it would just fall down. And so there's no way it would just fall like that. And that's what kind of blows your mind on some of these things. You can see the rub marks on a lot of these. A lot of them are stripped too. Look at that. All the bends. That's really what drives you crazy when you see these bends.
You think maybe it's entertainment?
Well, I'm sure
maybe it's play.
It's fun. Yeah, I don't know, And when you see, a lot of times you'll see a big bend like this, and a little bit farther down you'll see a small little bend like little baby did it or something. Mm-hmm. And Marc in his videos, and I've got a video out that's called Holy Cross Bigfoot Compass with Nico to Haan. It's on YouTube, and it's under Colorado Bigfoot. I also put it under my Nico to Haan, and I also put it in the Living a Primal Lifestyle folder. You can see the asterisk. They do like the asterisks. Mm-hmm. These trees are 30 feet in the air, and these things are monsters. And they're all leaning against trees on the other side over here. You can see this tree is even bent towards it and stuck right in the middle of it.
What about the roots of these aspens, evidently, that have been brought up to these pine forests?
Yeah, some of them are broken off, and some of them have still part of the root ball on there. A root ball on an aspen tree is very small. It's a weak area, so they can fall down. And again, horizontal. A lot of these things are lifted up off the ground. You'll see a lot of them just lifted and suspended up off the ground, not touching the ground at all at any point. And here we have another asterisk, and you can see these things are just jammed in. You can see the symmetrical two here, the symmetrical two here. You could say that could happen.
Yeah, like parallel lines,
Yeah,
right.
parallel lines. You could see that happen accidentally once, but when you see it over and over again,
It's definitely on
and we call
purpose.
these little areas that they're in wallows, and that's just the name we came up with. I think Nathan
Is it a
Rio.
sniglet?
Yeah, it's kind of a little thing that Nathan Rio in Utah came up with, and he just calls it a wallow. It could be called anything, but that's what we call these places, little wallows, and they're usually marked with territory. And again, here you have them way up in the air. I mean, it's really fascinating. And the last picture of this group here, this is a little video. Let's see if I can play this. So there's pictures here, some of the same pictures.
Wow.
Pretty interesting. And then I think he goes then the Holy Cross compass now, renamed as the compass, and the snow line. And that big X that you liked.
X marks the spot.
Yeah, certainly does.
Looks like it does for them. Look at
yeah,
those.
it's lots of them.
It could be that they use it as a way to track where they're going. There may not be a sense of what a compass is,
Yeah.
So an X says, okay, we can follow. We look for one structure.
There's David.
Yeah.
Myself.
Nico.
We're up there. We're at about 10,000 feet at this point, and we're climbing, going up to that compass. And Marc is this is his camera, and he has a commentary on it. I didn't want to play it here, but go and listen to it. It's really fascinating. It's about a 45 or 50-minute video, and it just jumps around to a lot of different things that we did that day. We spent that first day, 6 hours up there. And it was just fascinating. And it was treacherous. It was a 6-hour workout going up and then coming down. And going down was
You're probably exhausted at night.
Well, we were actually at a steeper elevation when we started down. So it was very steep on the way down. And we slid in a couple of places. We fell in a couple of places. And it was just a blast. This area right here with all these sticks. You see this over and over again with other people's videos on Vancouver Island. We see it in Newfoundland. We see it in New York State, New Jersey, everywhere. Everywhere that people are filming these structures, they see the same type of structures. They're similar. They all look alike. They may be a little different, but they all have the X's. They all have the leans. They all have the bends. And they all have trees way up in the air that no man could put up there. So the question is, who's putting these things up there? And that's the question.
And how are they doing it?
And how are they doing it? Love to see that, of course. Love to see them in action. At one point on our way down, we did come across an area that smelled like a skunk. Mm-hmm. And we were at 9,000 feet. I don't even think skunks go up into that elevation.
I thought that was interesting, the one with those trees. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah, that's definitely
interesting stuff. Yeah, and there's the babies.
Right. Look, Dad, Mom, I can do it too.
Yeah, kind of like that, yeah.
Right.
So we'll be right back, folks. Stick around.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we're having fun getting to share Nico's vacation videos. And, you know, this whole Colorado Bigfoot trip that you made and the whole community that's looking at these structures. You mentioned before the break that people all over British Columbia, New York, everywhere, New Jersey, the woods, they're seeing these structures. Other than that one picture you went over the show before, I mean, have people had any recent sightings of what appears to be?
Sure.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, so people are seeing these.
Yeah, and there's videos up on YouTube, and you can search for those, and there's plenty of, some you can say it's a monkey suit, but some of them, the way they move, moving fast, grabbing branches along the way, you can see the hair moving. A lot of people deconstructing it. There's a guy in Britain called Tony Bigfoot, and he does a lot of stuff in the United Kingdom. But he also takes people's videos and starts looking at them and finds things in there
and analyzes them to see if they're farces or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Or see if they're true.
There's a guy, Christopher Noel. I think he's up in New Jersey or in the Northeast, and he has videos talking about the whole phenomenon of it and why it probably is real. A lot of people debunking these things, and I didn't see one. I smelled something.
Just because you don't see it,
yeah, but we did hear it, and we heard a lot of different things. So that was the first day. That was the whole thing. It was 6 hours on the mountain. It was exhausting. We did really well. I was really proud of my son David. Kept right up with us all the way through. Marc, of course, he said he was a little out of shape, but boy, he was ahead of us all the time. A couple of times I took the point and found a couple of new places. But when we got back, we just had a few beers at this place right around the corner from our
But you're exhausted at the end of the day.
We were exhausted. We took our aminos right away, and that really did help, that's for sure. And the next day we were ready, set, go again, so here's day 2. So here, of course, Matt from Vail was there.
Hi,
we asked
Matt.
him to join us the second day.
Yeah, Matt's a listener of the show, and there he is. Man, he's a nice, fit guy.
Yeah, and my son looking awesome.
Yep, Dave
usual.
looks awesome, too.
So that's when we started, and then right away, this is a whole different area on the other side of the mountain, on the other side of I-70 on the north side, called the Red and White Mountain area. And
why do they call it Red and White Mountain area?
Just, I think, because of the way they look. A lot of white with the aspen trees, and a lot of red with the pines.
Oh, okay.
Like a redwood almost. So you can really notice the difference, I think, if we go back.
I can see it in that one tree. It looks like the one tree's a pine.
Yeah. These are all aspens.
Right.
Yeah. So we go on. Again, the X. Again, a little loop here. Trying to make this bigger.
Yeah, I want you to maximize the screen. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Thank you. Another X. That was that's probably the biggest X I've ever seen. This is
those are some big trees.
Yeah, those are hundreds and hundreds of pounds. How the heck they get up there? And then there's usually this one on the side, somewhere along the line. Sometimes it's down here, but it's usually in that configuration. And then we come across a big break. We go through these things.
Now, you talked about that, some of these teepee shapes. Now, when I see that, it's a very primal structure. We see it across history. We know that through pyramid structures, there's that vortex of energy. So it could very well be that whoever's making these is aware that they can create a vortex of energy by making that shape.
Interesting, because if you touch the trees that are not rooted anymore and you put your hand on them, they're very, very warm. So the decomposition of the tree, slowly decomposing, it heats that tree up. So you can imagine if you put hundreds and hundreds of these trees there, and all of a sudden the snow kind of goes away in that area. And that's what we're finding. We're finding that it's really warmer there than any place else. So I don't know if that's the case.
That might be a structure that's where they want to sleep. It creates that energy vortex of safety.
I have no idea where they sleep. We don't know. There's caves around, Another big X. And this is in an aspen forest now, so it's a little different.
Okay, so that's in an aspen forest, and it's with aspen trees.
Yeah.
So they weren't really relocated.
Yeah. Here, we came into this little wallow, and this was, we're into the aspen forest, and all of a sudden we come across this little stand of pines. Stand of pines, completely bare. Everywhere there's grass except for this little area, maybe 50 feet in a circumference. And we find this little bend right in the center of it. David and I had a picture taken right in front of that bend. It's a beautiful bend. This tree grows here, was taken and tucked under another tree. Then we have this bent through those other bends.
Oh, I can see that it's stuck between the trees, way in the back. Put your cursor there.
Right there, and also right there, and then also right there. And then we have this one sitting on top of it. That's also never touches the ground. Neither one of these actually touch the ground at all. Then we have this crazy X with this whole thing wound up. These are pines again, and these are the aspens.
So they brought the aspens up.
Yeah, it's still in that same area, so the aspens were right there. Here again, you have a beautiful X, kind of horizontal. It's just remarkable. Another X with a lean. And
it must have given you that feeling of adventure. That,
it was just...
what are we, that feeling you felt when you were a kid, like, let's see what we can find.
Exactly. This is kind of neat. This was all jumbled together, but you can see all the horizontals, and you can see these were all intertwined. And this is a pine tree that is still alive, but just recently broke off, and the high end is up in the air, and it was shoved down in between trees. And here you can see the kind of intricacy that this tree never fell there. It was slotted in there.
Oh, that's a pretty clear picture. Yeah, that doesn't happen like that.
No. So this was made. And here we have another type of thing it's just remarkable. It just goes on and on and on. Nice big loop there.
So you were actually on the mountain. How many days? 2 or 3?
We were actually 4 days on the mountain. Well, actually 3 big days. 2 with Marc, and then my son and I went 4-wheeling in this whole same area.
Oh, wow.
And we just had a blast. I got a video of that, too, if we have time to do that. And then again, this is a little video that I shot. I guess these are... Maybe it's not a video. I guess we're back at the same.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah. So this is a little thing that was all jammed together. I wanted to take a picture of it because it was really fascinating how this wood was all put there. Things way up in the air again. These are just small little clips that I took. Again, you can see how much is up there. And they tie, at the very top, they're always tied around a leaf or, with a little intricate tie knot of some kind.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, what are they using for the tie knot?
Another small branch.
Oh.
Sometimes you see a complete knot. So they're held up there. Some of them not, and some of them are bent.
That's amazing.
It is amazing stuff.
Okay, well, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back and explore with Nico, the Colorado Mountains and Bigfoot.
We'll be right back, folks. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
All right, welcome back. So we're going to just talk while I'm showing the rest of this video, because it was really interesting. Of course, the fresh air, fantastic. It was just gives you all kinds of energy. You're real tired. You sleep like a baby at night. Just being out there, and you see things that you don't see in city life.
Yeah. How about one of the questions came in the chat room where there's snakes or mountain lions, and as you said, it's too cold for snakes up there, too high.
Yeah, too high.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of wildlife. We saw a lot of deer, mule deer. We saw a lot of scat. We saw moose
What's
scat.
a scat?
Scat poop.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So we saw a moose scat, we saw deer scat, we saw antelope scat, we saw mountain lion scat.
So you're a scat expert now?
Well, as much as I can get into it, yeah. It's a bunch of scat, that's for sure. The mountain lions, we saw some big paw prints. We did see some good footprints, Bigfoot footprints.
You did?
I took a picture of one, didn't really come out well. It's hard to tell. Here we are on top of the mountain. And
that's when you were measuring the
compass. You could see it's right on the dial, and I think even David shows it later on. But the fascinating, the wildlife was prolific, that's for sure. You could see it everywhere. You can see what the forest looks like there around. And this is the top. This is probably 10, 11,000 feet. So we're not the highest point. We're not going up to 13 and 14 because that's where the snow was. But this was a real interesting area. And right away, you can see that the X's are right near where this compass was. And that's why I think many people think that Bigfoot did it. But I don't think so. I think it's probably a human thing. But who knows? We don't know.
It could be some other explorers like you that camped out there or something.
Yeah, and wanted to mark exactly which way to go down the mountain, which way
or add to the mystique or whatever.
Now, you really have to know your way around because...
I can see how it would be easy to
get lost,
get turned around.
Oh, easily, no doubt about it. But you can look at the sun where that is, and you can pretty well figure. But there's a lot of places where you can't ascend or descend, and we ran up to a couple of cliff faces that were completely dropped off, and we had to go around them. And Marc knew exactly where it was at all times and took us right back to the trailhead each time. So he's really an expert.
It was great to be with Marc
because
Abell.
I could never do this by myself.
So he does this as a part of his business too, right? What else does he do?
Not really a business. This is more of a hobby of him, but he's very passionate about it, and he's going to take a select number of people this summer out there and explore with them. And he invited me back. And I was the first paying customer that he had. I told him I'd pay him, and one of the things that he said to me, he says, I don't think I showed you enough. When you come back, it's on me.
Aww.
And that's the kind of guy Marc is. He's just a straight-up guy. Great thing about him, and one of his downfalls, he says he talks a lot, which is great if you want a guide.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
He's a
you're
natural.
going up the mountain. He's explaining everything. So, folks, if you're inclined to do something like this, Marc is the guy. He's the guy you want on your side because he'll take you to the right places.
It's Marc with a C.
Marc with a C, M-A-R-C, Abell.
Yeah, Marc Abell.
A-B-E-L-L. Colorado
with
Bigfoot.
Colorado Bigfoot.
Yeah, he's got a Facebook page. He's also got the Colorado Bigfoot page. He's got a Project X page, so there's 3 pages that I know of that you can get a hold of
What's
him.
Project X?
It's just a lot of people... What happens is a lot of people who look at these videos give you what they call timestamps. So they'll say at 13 minutes and 11 seconds, I saw something. And then they'll blow it up and circle it. Some of the things that you see, you say, well, maybe that's how they found, remember I showed you before I left the face of Bigfoot? Mm-hmm. That's how he found that. He didn't actually see it himself.
Someone else found it in the video.
Found it in the video and sent it to him.
Wow.
And then he spotted where the video, where in the video
So people are
was.
collaborating on what they see.
No doubt about it.
Literally, someone might review this video and all of a sudden say, "Hey, at 1275," and they zoom in on a tree.
Yeah,
and
sometimes they mess with the video, changing the contrast, the brightness to see other things. Some of the things you see, I go, I don't think so. Some of the things, yeah, maybe. Everybody has their own opinion what's out there, and many people think there's many other things out there besides Bigfoot, little people and little fairies, and you can think what you want.
Right. Well, you just brought that up because while we were on the break, I pulled up the Merlin Cryptid Museum, and I think I don't know if we talked about it because you and I shared it last year. The Merlin Museum is filled with artifacts of otherworldly creatures, including the fairies, including little...
Yeah, if people want to look this up, this is Merrylin, or
correct.
Lyn.
Yeah, the Merlin Museum. Maybe we can zoom in on it. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, there's some pretty interesting creatures that, are specimens that were found in a basement in London, and it's been preserved, and makes you realize perhaps... there are some other creatures living, and we're not aware of it.
I'll bring it up.
Yeah, we'll bring it up maybe right before the last break.
Yeah.
I mean, I spent a weekend checking that all out. One weekend, it's pretty amazing. I mean, it really gives you some ideas. But
so, getting back to Marc, I just wanted people to know that if they want an adventure like this, Marc is going to be available this summer, and I highly recommend that you contact Marc. You can contact me to get to Marc if you want to.
And Colorado is beautiful in the summer.
Perfect place to go in the summer, and it's not as busy as it is in the winter a lot of times, although it's getting
Look at all
busier
this
and
going
busier.
on here.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, we explored other places, of course. Like I said, David and I went four-wheeling. We had a blast doing that. And my truck just performed so great, up not only on the highway, but up in the woods. It's a whole different thing when you're out there. You air down to make it a little easier to ride. And then you air back up. I had all the equipment. We had been saving, all this equipment and stuff for this big adventure. So I think David and I just bonded very nicely. We had just a lot of fun.
A nice way
together.
for father and son to have a lot of fun and do something that was interesting and memorable, because not everybody gets a chance to kind of disconnect and do this, and I think maybe we should look for opportunities to create adventure in our lives.
To create adventure, and also to create adventure in the outdoors. I think it's very, very essential.
Be an outsider.
Yeah, exactly, and it does rejuvenate me. I feel so relaxed. Thursday. You
got your forest bathing for sure.
I definitely did, and when we left, we're going to go do one more four-wheeling, and then. David said, well, my daughter has something special to do on Friday afternoon. It'd be nice to be there. And I said, well, let's just start heading back. So we headed back Thursday morning about 8 o'clock. We left Vail. I dropped David off about 9 o'clock that evening in St. Louis. Mm-hmm. And, they got ads in this. How rude.
I know, that's YouTube for you.
And so...
when they see you have views, they add ads.
When I dropped him off, I thought, well, I could pull over and sleep. I could get a motel room, or I could just drive straight through. I took some aminos and some more vitamins, and I said, I'm just going to drive straight through. I felt pretty good. And as I went through the trip, good. It took me about just less than 28 hours completely. So I had 26 hours of driving and about an hour or 15 minutes of stopping for gas and take a leak on the road, that type of thing.
There you go.
And I was home before 1 o'clock the next day on Friday, so I spent
the whole weekend to kind of...
Yeah, I spent the afternoon with Ellen. We went out and had a bite to eat and just talked about the trip. And I went to bed real early, woke up maybe real early the next day, took a sauna, did my usual thing, and I was kind of really back to normal after that. So that was really
nice
cool.
to get away. So when we come back, just for fun, we're going to show you these little Merlin museums, just to let you know if you don't think that Bigfoot's real, what do you think about these things? We'll be right back.
Okay, so this is the...
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. Up next, 9 before 9 with John Logan on TFNN.
Welcome back. As we've been exploring Nico's trip to discover Bigfoot in Colorado, it made me realize that perhaps there's a lot of stuff that we don't know, and I remembered a site called the Merlin Museum. Mary Lynn Museum, MERRYLIN Museum. I really encourage you to peruse it. It's very intriguing.
Some pictures here.
Really what it is it's the Cryptid Museum, the life's work of crypto-naturalist, fringe zoologist, and xenoarchaeologist Thomas Merlin. This site is an online archive of his unique collection of specimens, creatures, and artifacts thought to be nothing more than myth. It's a mystery that challenges our understanding of biology, chemistry, and the very law of physics. But this is no fairy tale, for he was a scientist, and empirical evidence and rational thought hold sway here. There's a lot to see and read, so take your time. At this website, you'll see many of these specimens. It's really rather fascinating and makes you wonder if there are people that believe all of these specimens are, in fact, real. I think the fairy is just amazing. Dragons and Dracula and different specimens. It looks like they were explored with the concern of where they were otherworldly. I mean, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But the curious aspect of the discovery was the man responsible for its existence, the enigmatic, mysterious gentleman that had gathered together a wealth of relics that challenge our understanding of nature, of specimens that had never been witnessed by the modern world or objects which defied physical laws. Lord and Professor Thomas Theodore Merlin. And he lived in 1782, a rich aristocratic family. And
certainly has some interesting looking things here.
yeah, and you can read his whole biography there. That's a very interesting
face here.
Yeah. Nocturnal hominid, a carnivore. Interesting. Wonder where we get
the teeth. Wow.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Is it real? Is it Memorex? I'm not sure. However,
that's an old cliche right there.
But they say there's some interesting things. He traveled with his father, and they explored all of these things, and all these specimens were found in his basement in London.
Wow.
Okay, and now this gentleman that holds this website is a curator of it all. But they say a bizarre quality of Merlin was his apparent permanent youthfulness. Even in his 80s, he still resembled a 40-year-old. And although he had an odd complexion, and his few bizarre forays into the eyes of the media only furthered his infamy. He was accused of practicing dark arts to prolong his life.
Yeah, I can see why.
Yet, eminent scholars secretly allied themselves with him, encouraging him to share his collection with the world. And in 1899, he took a small portion of his specimens on the tour across America. Conservative attitudes of the time condemned these creatures, calling them blasphemous. His reaction was severe, and the tour was canceled before it reached California. So,
wow.
Maybe these are other timeline worldly creatures.
Who knows?
No
clue. I wonder if there's any DNA studies have been done on any of this stuff. We know on Bigfoot there have, and they pretty much come back with every sample that's been tested human, but not quite. So there's a lot of human in there. Of course, when you look
That's
at the
right.
big apes, you see that. You see that they're very close to us.
This is interesting before we go. In the following years, Merlin extended the collection exponentially. So he kind of became reclusive and collected this. He traveled to the four corners of the earth. In truth, we do not know what he was searching for until very recently. The collection houses mathematics not dreamt of in his time, of theories that we are only now contemplating. Merlin posits that the possibilities of the multiverse, of time travel, of quantum mechanics before the terms existed. He is an enigma. So before you doubt Bigfoot, take a look at Merlin Museum and what is there that we don't know about? Probably a lot.
I think so.
Thanks for sharing, Nico.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for going on my vacation, folks. We'll see you next time.
See you next show.
Bye-bye.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.